Yeah.
Okay. All right, so mics are on, and so.
Do you want the attendees to chat with you? You want panelists and attendees, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Okay.
Just trying to verify some of the settings.
And you can start your webinar whenever you want. And then what you do is when you start the webinar, new share, and then go to David Lesner's video.
Let's just make sure he's on follow host view.
Yep, he is.
Okay, great.
I'm going to start him at 12:02, Eric.
Okay.
Oh.
So just to confirm, your chat is set to panelists and attendees.
What does that mean?
Correct?
Really
Yes,
fast.
So that
I
your attendees and panelists can communicate with you on chat.
I just verified it, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, have a good show.
Yeah,
Thanks,
we'll
Eric.
be in the background. You won't hear us or see us, but we'll be here.
So Renee, once I start webinar, then I'm going to go new share and then press the video and just start the video.
Correct.
Okay.
You guys might want to try to not have in the Q&A, you have allow anonymous questions checked. You may not want that.
No, it wasn't. I had just checked that. It was supposed to be answered questions only. Oh, I see. That's not unchecked. Okay, I got it.
How's it, Chris? I'm Naval.
Yeah, he didn't get the other meeting.
How's it? Nice meeting you.
Nice seeing you too.
And also, if you have any questions during the event, you can talk to us on the chat. We'll be reading the chat.
Okay.
Okay. Just making sure it says 2 panelists.
Aloha mai kako. My name is David Lassner, and I serve as the president of the University of Hawaiʻi, leading our 10 campus system and our flagship University of Hawaiʻi at Manoa. We serve these islands, which are the ancestral home of the Kanaka Maoli, or Native Hawaiian people. My own ancestry involves centuries of wandering, but I'm now privileged to make my home in lush Waiomau within Palolo Valley, in the Ahupua'a of Waikiki, within the Moku of Kona on the island of Oahu. I'm personally grateful to this place and her people, both of which have embraced me for over 4 decades. Over 125 years ago, Queen Liliuokalani yielded the Hawaiian Kingdom and these territories under duress and protest to the United States to avoid the bloodshed of her people. And it was nearly 30 years ago that the US government formally apologized for this act, which it has acknowledged as an illegal overthrow. As the only public institution of higher education in Hawaii, the University of Hawaii is strategically clear in our commitment to become a model Indigenous serving institution, committed to the sustainability of Hawaii's people, islands, language, culture, and knowledge. This strategic imperative is named Hawaii Papaokeao, or the Hawaii Foundation of Enlightened Knowledge. So today I welcome you all, and I offer up an invitation to join us celebrating the University of Hawaii's ongoing contributions to the advancement of Indigenous Hawaiian knowledge. Mahalo.
Aloha mai kako. I am Mainet Kapiahiokalani Padikinani Benham, Chancellor of the University of Hawaii West Oahu and co-chair of Hawaii Papo'o Keao with Chancellor of Maui College, Dr. Louis Hokoana. Hawaii Papo'o Keao was established in January 2012 and consists of representatives from all 10 campuses. The purpose of this presidentially appointed committee is to set goals and objectives to address the higher education needs of Native Hawaiians through 3 pathways: leadership development, community engagement, and Hawaiian language and cultural parity. At our first meeting this school year, our discussions focused on how our Native Hawaiian students, faculty, and staff, and their families were managing this challenging time. Committee members shared that folks on their campus were feeling isolated, disconnected, and depressed due to the psychosocial, emotional, and economic impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. So we asked, what could Hawaii Papo'o Keao do? And after some discussion led by Tapori Tangaro, representative from Hawaii Community College, we decided that we wanted to address Indigenous well-being through the nourishment that can be found in the abundant talent and knowledge across our campus communities. Hence, the birth of the inaugural Hawaii Papo'o Keao series, He Ukana Aloha Kā Kīlauea. Mahalo for joining us today, and we hope to see you and your family and friends every month through June of 2021 as we lovingly share this makana with you. E nānea kākou I ka ike kupuna I ho'owili ai mai ki kilo mai. Enjoy and be enriched by the wisdom passed down from our kupuna through so many generations to us today. Aloha.
No tihi la we ate aloha hanali oka ke le tamoana la hana holo ma mua holo ma ho pela hana taupono tari hui kamata hani la hana haeo mai kila huea la hana taua he AʻeI ai taili tari la hana hakinua kauai I te tari la hana nomea e kaui la malaha la hana waho mai o taihi la hana no kamehameha elima.
Aloha mai kākou. Can everybody hear me? Aloha. One more time, not too used to this. If you guys can hear me, can you just raise your hand? Oh, awesome. All right. So I'm gonna get going with everybody. Oh, wow. Now I can see everybody's names. Okay, let's try and do this and start rocking and a rolling. Renee, you think I can, is there a way that I can actually see people's faces?
No, attendees don't have video.
Oh, great. Dun, 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 dun.
You did make it so they can unmute themselves. Most attendees are not used to being able to talk.
Okay.
So just let them know that if they can unmute and mute themselves.
Got it. Let's just try and share this really quickly. Share screen, desktop 3. Sorry, everybody. Can you folks see my screen? Oh. Okay. You guys got my PowerPoint slide going? Oh, just make full screen, no PowerPoint, no. Okie dokie, let's try one more time. Sorry, everybody. Share screen, desktop 3. You are screen sharing. See, how come you're moving over there? Don't worry, I'm gonna get this. Don't go anywhere, everybody. It's coming. You guys can see now? Man. Kyla, how about now? Good? To double camera. Okay. Awesome, everybody. So let's just try and get started. It's so hard not to see people's faces, but I will try my best. So everybody got the first slide? Good. Shar, mahalo for letting me know. Yes, Renee, Fern, what's up, everybody? So really quick, if you do have a question, you're more than willing to unmute yourself and ask, or if you can't, something's going awry, just please unmute. I would rather see you and hear your voice. So let's get started. So what I was really trying to do, well, I think I have it. So just the goals of today's webinar and the one coming up in 2 weeks. So the pahuhopu, or the goal, is that we can build a collective kite. And so what does that collective kite look like? And I'm envisioning a collective kite of stories of your past year and 3 months, and how we can all collectively write a story and put it together to create our lupe or our kite. And so how does this happen? So what I'm going to be asking, and going to be a little bit hard, is that, you know, we're all born with a kite, with our own personal kite. And it's about releasing that kite and pulling the past to our present and writing about that past. So we're going to be building our collective kite by you agreeing and allowing your own kite to kind of be released up into the heavens and to kind of letting that kite breathe a little bit. I think through this past year and so much, we've been a little stifled, just a little. So here's the quick tools you'll need for building your kite. The first, no worry, cheap, is a pencil or a pen. And I'm sure half of you guys don't have a pencil and a pen, you only have one keyboard. So really quickly, see, and that's why I want a camera so I can see if you're looking for your pencil and pen. Try and go find a pencil or a pen. And then you're gonna need paper. Or it can be your journal, can be a book, anything that's, well, a piece of paper. And then you're gonna need quick skills. I'm gonna be soon asking you to write, and in the writing, I'm gonna need you to write in cursive, not in print, but in cursive. I know I wrote a note to one of my colleagues, a lot younger than me, and I gave them a note and I wrote in cursive, and they was like, oh, what is this? Yeah. So kind of trying to bring that past writing that we used to do in Catholic school and see how we can use that for today. So as we kind of go down this voyage of, I'm really writing about our past year and a half, I just wanted to kind of give you a little history about kite flying, and where you actually see the word lupe. Some people call it pe'a, but it's also called lupe. So on our canoe, there's one part of the va'a which is actually called the lupe, and it is located right in the front of where the iako and the ama attach. So yeah, we're gonna, similar to a canoe, we're gonna let our lupe go and, you know, kind of push our canoe forward. What's really interesting about the va'a and the lupe is that the opposite side of the lupe on a va'a, to unmute attendees, mass. Oh. Okay, sorry, you guys. I got one message, and hover over and allow. Here we go. I'm going to try to do this. Hover over. Looks like you will need to unmute attendees, mass. Okay, I'm gonna try this, you guys. A lot to chat with. And then, Renee, do you see someone trying to speak? Nope. Okay, continue. All right. So on the va'a, the front part of the iako, where of the ama, is called the lupe. And, you know, the va'a teaches us about what we should be doing, because the opposite side is actually called the kanaka. So that's one instance of the lupe on our va'a. Some other historical references, you know, a lot of books that I've seen is that they talk about kite flying as a pastime. I know in my short life so far, you know, people will tell you, hey, go fly a kite. And I've learned that the best response to someone who tells me to go fly a kite is, no, you really don't want me to go fly a kite. So the question is, was it a pastime? No, not really. It looks more like kite flying was reserved for kahuna, for AʻeI. So in Beckwith, the god Maui called Lupe, which was the god who invoked the right of deification of the dead or restoration of the dead to life. And he was represented in the form of a kite shaped like a stingray. And so this is what Beckwith says. And while I was going through some Hawaii newspapers, I came across an article where this one man was interviewing this woman named Kikaula, and this was her response. And basically she said, you know, if the person is close to death, here's the remedy. Fly a kite and the sickness will attach itself to the string of the kite. And I was like, hey, that really, not a justification, not that we need a justification, but it supports kind of what Beckwith was saying about Lupe and him being able to, you know, take life and also give life at the same time. Let's see, how come that? Ho'olele Lupe, or kite flying, was also used as a means of protest. So in 1833, there was turmoil with Kamehameha III, as well as the foreigners who came to the shores. And so what Kamehameha III ended up doing was telling his people, hey, yeah, go fly your Lupe. And so here was just an account of people never seeing so many kites flying at the same time. And there was about 100 kites that were seen flown over Honolulu. And I just love these kind of things. And so Mr. Bingham was telling the Hawaiians who was at Sunday service that the king was Heva, and it would be good to bring him to church. I was like, so again, so we're getting to when people tell you, bra, go fly one kite, why you would tell them, you don't want me to go fly one kite. And so here's something that comes from Ka'ahumanu Molder of Change by Silverman. She says, you know, the only work in which Ka'ahumanu engaged was in amusement. So Ka'ahumanu made kites of kapa, 15 to 16 feet, 6 to 7 feet wide. And they were so big that sometimes it had to be tied to a tree. So, you know, when I saw this, I was like, yeah, you know, I don't know if Ka'ahumanu was really just, let me go fly a kite today, or she was maybe just preparing herself in her rise to being kuhina nui. I think, you know, people view kite flying as, let's go Sandy Beach and just go fly one kite. But I think for our culture, there was more of a spiritual side to flying a kite. So, see, and that is why I want to see you folks, but that's okay. So what I'm going to ask you folks to do is to kind of get your pencil and paper together. But before you do that, I wanted to ask Renee. I really want to hear people. So one more time, if you can give me directions on how I could possibly unmute people. They need to raise their hand. Okay, so I think if you need to raise your hand, I have to try and see how do I go about seeing your hand. Participants. Sorry, everybody. Oh, Kyla, you raised your hand too. I just don't know how to unmute you folks. This asks to unmute, mute. Open participate box. Okie dokie. Maybe the Renee, I just don't know where the participants
Hi.
are. Hey.
Okay. So hover over your bottom taskbar.
I know more one bottom taskbar for real kind.
Oh, probably because you're in full screen. If you get up full screen, you'll see your. I would have thought you'd still be able to see it, but go at the bottom of your Zoom screen, not your PowerPoint screen.
Okay, yeah.
Zoom. Okay, and then you see the participant box at the bottom?
Nope, no more.
Right after your mute and start video, you see the microphone, the video camera.
I no more even that.
Oh, you're not on the Zoom screen. You're probably on your presentation.
So I can see your name, myself, Eric, and Christopher.
Okay, so if you move your mouse to the bottom, you should see the taskbar screen. In the screen where you see our names.
Okay, in the screen that is.
Where you said you see everyone's names. If you go to the bottom of that screen, you'll see the taskbar.
Yeah, no. Oh, no more.
I see your mouse on your PowerPoint presentation, so you're actually in that screen right now.
Okay. And then, oh, participants, Hoʻāea. I see them.
You have your list open now? Should be on your right-hand side.
Yep.
Okay.
So
on the right, if you click on attendees, you'll see two people are raising their hands.
Oh boy. Two people. Oh, yeah.
So click on the yellow hand and you'll see the two people who are raising their hands, and you'll be able to click on their name to let them talk.
Okay. Hey, Gail, you can try talk.
Aloha.
Hey. Oh. Okay, mahalo. Okay, really quick. Is my PowerPoint not in full screen? It's not.
Currently, it is not.
Okay, let me just go back to full.
It was earlier though, so you were good.
Okay, let's just go back to full screen. View. Enter full screen. Are we back to full screen? No.
No.
Okay, at the bottom of your PowerPoint, you see that little icon that looks like a TV monitor, olden day TV monitor, little, whoa, too far, to your right.
This one?
Yeah, click that.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. So you guys, just to let you know, Renee and Eric went through this with me. Yeah, I think I'm just too nervous because I feel like this is one test. So I'm sorry, Renee and Eric, you guys good teachers. I'm sorry. Okay, so really quick. This is a picture of I went kite flying down at Kapi'olani Park. So we're gonna start trying to get our kites to fly. So in my own experience, the one lesson that I learned through kite flying was, so if everybody has that ball of string in your hand, so you can kind of see my hand, if you're holding that ball of string and you're flying your kite, what I learned in kite flying is that the wind, which would be coming from behind of you, I learned that the wind that's coming was really my future. I didn't know the wind that was coming or what was going to come my way, but I knew that my back was facing the future. Me holding on to the kite was really my present. And the area where my kite was, where I let the string out and I let my kite fly to, was really my past. So in this exercise or in this webinar, what I'm hoping is that we can all let our kite out and allow it to reach a year and 3 or 4 months back and try to pull that experience that you've had, and through the aho or through the kaula of your kite, try and bring it to the present. And the paper and the pencil or pen you have is to write about that past. So in an effort to try and build up some wind so you can allow your kite to fly, I wanted to just share a little bit about Ka'ehu. So Ka'ehu, he was a native of Kauai. Ka'ehu was also a composer, chanter, hula master during Kamehameha Ilima or Lota Kapua'iwa, Luna Lilo, and Kalakaua. And he was noted for composing chants, setting to a tune and performing that chant that he composed within an hour. And something else was that his inspiration was usually of everyday life. So an example was that he wrote a chant about the belt-operated machinery of the Honolulu Iron Work. And in another one, he celebrated the inter-island steamer Kilauea that was battling rough waters of a channel passage with a storm coming on. But kind of more importantly was that Ka'ehu, during the Ma'ipake, or the leprosy epidemic, was put on a boat and he was taken to Kalaupapa and he was pushed off the boat and he ended up passing away on Kalaupapa. So when I was looking through and I saw his experience, I was hoping that it would give some wind to your own kite to have you write about your experience that not the same as his, but I think in Honolulu or in the islands, it was what was happening back then during the leprosy epidemic is kind of what's happening to us right now. So what I wanted to do was just have some of you folks read. So Auntie Gail, since you're unmuted, can you read the first verse on the left-hand side of your screen, the one that's in Hawaiian? And then if I can get somebody to read the English after Auntie Gail is done, I will unmute you so you can get a going. Auntie Gail, if you can.
E aha ia ana o Hawaiʻi, he nei mai o ka lepela. Mai hoʻokai e ka lehulehu o ka ili ula ula, ili keʻo. Okay.
You know what, Auntie Gail, if you can go read on the right-hand side the English, yeah.
Pelikania.
All right.
Yeah. What will become of Hawaii? What will leprosy do to our land? disease of the despised, dreaded alike, by white or brown or darker skinned.
Okay, mahalo. Can I get another volunteer if you can raise your hand? And no shame. I already went shame myself, so you don't need to be shame on this call. Anybody out there? I'm going to start picking. Okay, Isaiah, you're up. See, when you cannot see people's picture, they're probably not even there. Look here, you like trying? Oh, you, okay. Okay, well, stop eating and start reading.
Okay. Ano e mai ana na hoa hui, like ole kapilina mamua, e ahiu ke ike mai, ne e a kahi e noho mai. Kuhi kuhi mai hoi kalima, he mai pa ke ko ia ala.
Okay.
Strange when a man's neighbors become less than acquaintances. Seeing me, they drew away. They moved to sit elsewhere, whispering, and a friend pointed a finger. He is a leper.
Mahalo nui. Let's see. Darlene, Iokepa, can you read for us, please? Let me just unmute you.
What am I reading?
So you can read the first two lines, Makaolelo Hawaii, and then the Olelo Pelekani, or the English on the other side of the two lines, Makaolelo Hawaii.
Kulo ao a hoʻoea ia. Komoka hila hila ika hopu.
Okay.
I bowed my head. I knew it was true. In my heart, I hugged my shame.
Oh, mahalo nui. So this account or this chant of Kaehu is known to be his last chant that he wrote before leaving, being put on the Warwick that took lepers from Honolulu and sent them to Kalawao. So just trying to add some wind to your kite and helping you think of within the past year and so much months, you know, how have you felt? And yeah, just kind of letting your kite out and bringing that past experiences that you've had and bringing them to the present and letting that memory kind of run through your pen and get onto the paper, sorry. Let's see. Jen, Nagua, you can try. Jen, I think you got to unmute yourself if you stay talking. Okay, never mind. I got to ask somebody else. Joe.
Yes.
Can you try reading the next couple 8 lines? 2, 4, 6. Yeah.
Lohe ana kauka aupuni. Ho'ouna ke koa mai ka'i. Hopu ia mai kohu moa. Ala ka'i I ke ala kohu pipi. Ku ana I mua o ka papa ola. Papa ola ole o nei mai. Ki e vale mai na kanaka. Halo ma o ma'ane.
Okay, now you can read the English, please.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Word reached the medical authorities. The doctors sent the military to fetch us. We were caught like chickens, like cattle, herded along roadway and country lane. Then they paraded us before the Board of Health, but there was no health in the board for such as we examining. Doctors eyed us, squinting.
Oh, sorry, go.
Squinting this way and that.
Okay, mahalo nui. Fern, Moniz, you like try? Rip 'em.
Okay, can you hear me?
Aye.
Okay. Uhi ae na lima I le ahi. Hele oi ma kalavao. More fingers pointed diamond head way. You go to kalavao.
Okay, mahalo nui. Malia, you want to try Pereira?
Okay.
All right.
Lalau na koa aupuni, hali hali ia kai kawapo. Ho'ili na pio apau, kaluahi I ka ma'i lepela. Hiki ke aloha kaumaha no, I ka ike ole I ka ohana, kawai maka ho'i ka elo elo, ho'opulu I ka pāpā lina, pau ka ikena I ka aina, I ka vehi vehi o ke kauna. Again, the militia took over. Soldiers escorted us to the wharf for farewell. Prisoners, we were marched aboard. Victims of leprosy, banded for exile. Abandoned, cut off from family and dear ones. We were left alone with our grief, with our love. Rain of tears streamed down from leper eyes. Leper cheeks glistened with raindrops in the sun. Never again would we look upon this land of ours, this lovely harbor town.
Mahalo nui. Almost there, folks, almost there. Hopefully that kite is flying high. Come on, you can do it. Let's see. Loke, you still there? Kenolio, you stay or what? Oh, Louis, I know that laugh anywhere. That's you. Okay, you. Okay, Louis, going.
A wiki wiki ya lilo hoi ku kahuelo I ke kia mua. E nonoho lua o ke one pulu. Ki pu I ka hoi mahope. Ho'ohu ka helena o ke kai. Ahe pipi vale mai no. Quickly the sails were hoisted, ropes dangled from the foremast, tails of the wild animals writhing, whipping in the channel breeze. The janbu drew anchor, in the stern the rudder turned.
Mahalo nui. Kaimi, you wanna try, please?
Mahalo. Ike a moloka I mamua, ua po vehi vehi I ka noi, ha ina mai ka puana no nei mai o ka lepela. So we sailed forth to dim Molokai Island enshrouded in fog. So ends my song in this refrain. What will leprosy do to my people? What will become of our island?
Mahalo. So what I'm gonna ask for the next 15 minutes, just till 1 o'clock, if you can kind of take the words of what Kaehu wrote and just for 15 minutes, try and write down whatever thoughts you have of your past year and 3 months. And if you had to leave something for our next generation, so you know the kids coming up like 20 years from now when they're gonna say, pandemic, what you guys talking about? Never have one pandemic. But what would you wanna let them know of your experience that you've had for the past year and 3 months? And I think it doesn't need to pertain to work. It can just pertain to, you know, you missing interacting with people, I know I met with another group and I kind of went through them with the same process. And, you know, you don't even know, but some people actually lost some of their family members through the pandemic. But I just feel like our Lupe needs to be this collection of artifacts from our experience, just so people know that it wasn't easy. It's kind of difficult. But yeah, so for 15 minutes, if you can go grab that pencil and pen and put it to paper and let your past memories kind of come down that aho of your Lupe and into your fingers and just put it to paper. Yeah, so we have about 15 minutes till 1 o'clock. And when we come back at 1 o'clock, I'm going to just ask some of you folks if you can share what you wrote for 15 minutes. Yeah, so I'm going to ask you to be a little bit more talented than Ka'ehu was. He had 1 hour, you have 15 minutes. But so for our second part of the webinar, never mind, I'll let you guys know for the second part. But for the next 15 minutes, let's try regroup at 1 o'clock and see where we are. Okay, guys ready? You guys can, I think I want to unmute all you guys. You guys can say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Mahalo nui. Oh, you guys, and I have you unmuted. So if you guys go and yell at somebody, just mute yourself real fast. Okay, so we've reached Hoʻāea kahi. Everybody can hear me. Just making sure I have this unmuted. Oh. Aloha. You guys can hear me?
Aye.
Oh, okay, mahalo nui. Yeah, Kaimi, you get one question? Or you can hear me?
I can hear you.
Ah, okay, mahalo nui. So what I wanted to do really quickly is ask if anybody out there wants to, and we're not done with the process, but I just wanted to see if you would be willing to share what you came up with in your 15 minutes. Hopefully not too many people was bothering you, but for the last 15 minutes, anybody out there, if you know, raise your hand, no worry, I pick on you. No? Mona, Richard, Fang, can you just share just a little bit with us of what you have? Oh, Mona, you're gonna get it.
I'm here.
Okay, just making sure.
I have my other Zoom meeting on, so I'm trying to turn it off right now.
Oh, okay.
What I quickly kind of wrote down was.
What is that, your TV, Mona?
No, that's my cell. I'm trying to turn it off. Can you hold on for a minute?
Yeah, just press end.
It's nice for people to just stop in. You can kind of sorry about that. Just to, your research or the activities or tools or anything you want to share about. But there's longer sessions that are
From under your pillow.
Got it.
There you go. Good job.
Okay. Just what you said, thinking back about the past 3 years, past year. There are some people saying that they were going crazy just being in the house, being around family members and so forth. But I think it was a time for, especially for me personally, for the families to come together, to learn how to communicate with each other again. The other thing I realized was just being more self-sufficient, when we had the ban on not being out and so forth, we started getting more serious about our gardening. We already had a garden, but we're getting more serious about it, and sharing what we grew with families and neighbors. To stop the wasting. It was more in that area that I was thinking of, and just reaching out to others besides family, reaching out to friends, neighbors to offer assistance, if we could, and so forth. The sad side of it all had nothing to do with the COVID, but in the past year, I've lost 6 family and classmates. So that was the depressing part of it for me. Yeah, that was it.
Okay. Did you write about that, Mona?
I just wrote it down when you gave us this assignment. I thought, wow, never really thought about it,
Yeah.
So I used to have a journal.
Right.
But I kind of stopped doing that years ago. Just didn't have time to, you know. But I guess now with time, you know, I need to, you know.
Right.
There are other things too, you know, but
okay.
thank you.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.
Okay. Let's see. Let's try to pick on somebody. Kwan Hung, you want to share? If you can, please.
I need more time. I mean, kind of.
No need. It's no need be perfect. Just some sentences.
I think my experience of the past year and a few months has been very scattered. But one of the most profound experience was my conversation with you a few months ago when you talk about Kumulipo. There seems to be a circle from darkness to light, and then light to darkness. And I found this observation very insightful. We are making our ways kind of through a lot of uncertainties. And I have students who contract COVID, and even though most of them are well, and yeah, it is just hard to navigate, but at the same time, I learned a lot of significant life lessons, right? For example, relationship matters a lot, and sometimes it's even more than the intellectual knowledge that I can, let's say, convey to students. And right, so overall speaking, the whole experience, right now I still have to kind of try to discern, right, the direction of the wind towards the future, but right, what I can say at this point is I learned a lot, right? Not only, I mean, not limited to, for example, online teaching, finding new ways to interacting with students, right? But also important life lessons. Thank you.
Got it. Mahalo nui.
Mahalo.
Monte, you think you could share with us? Oh. Okay, I'm gonna go back on the list.
Nava'a.
Yes, Isaiah.
I have my friend Billy here who would like to share.
Oh, awesome. Sounds good.
Yeah, because Isaiah pressured me.
Oh, good job. Good job, Isaiah.
Now I know how my students feel. So mahalo, my name is Billy. These are just thoughts that I just jotted down. So gliding along life with no cares in the world, confusion, then isolation. What the hell? People dying, scared, isolation, fear is growing, unable to run away or hide. Count is rising, fear mounts on fear, darkness before the dawn. Dawn is rising, healing is taking place. Mother Earth takes a breath, healing comes forth. Kava mua, ke'iava, kava hope. Mahalo.
Oh, mahalo nui, Billy. Okay, we're gonna take one more person. Anybody out there, no shame, or you're gonna have to listen to me read minds. Amy Yamashiro, go ahead.
Oh, Billy was a tough act to follow. So poetic. I just was thinking mostly about the keiki and their loss of experiences over the year of learning from interacting with others and not being with friends and teachers and getting sucked into the vortex of screen time. Also just feeling for the people with no reserves, like no physical or financial or psychological reserves. Like I feel like I've been able to build up a reserve so I could get through a tough year. And I know I can bounce back from a tough year, but I feel for the people who don't have that luxury.
Right. Oh, thank you. Okay. So I'm gonna just quickly read minds, just so you guys know I went right. Oh, look, you cannot see Pippa. Write something. And just to let you know that what you write, you don't need to send them to an editor. It's just us. So here's mine. In the time of 2020 to 2021, I worried for my parents. Mom has been bedridden for 4 years and dad is still paddling, running around like a teenager. I worry that dad is going to bring COVID home and infect my mom. How do you tell your father to stay home, which all his life he has been at the beach paddling? My parents, how do you take care of them? You must, you go in, here we go. You go into hen mode, like the hens on campus. When you go too close to their chicks, they start doing the haka. Every day seems the same, except that you are unable to hug your friends. My remedy, when I go to take care of my mom, I always push her to the side and jump in bed with her so she can remember that she's my mom and I'm her child. And that's all I have so far. And I was just kind of remembering just a little pieces of the year and 3 months that have passed. But yeah, so last piece before we sign off is, if you can, I'm gonna put my email address in the chat, but I wrote down everybody's names so I can email you as well. But what I want you to do is take your phone, or I don't think you guys have a camera, but take your phone and take a picture of what you wrote. And for next week, 2 weeks from now, if you can just continue writing. So next week, I really want you folks to kind of share your piece of your past and how we can put that together so we have something to leave for the next generations to look at. And don't worry, I'll contact you to see if you're doing your work. But for the next round, I really just want it to be a sharing point of your story and hoping that you guys will kind of take the time you folks need to take care of yourselves. I know a lot of the names I see on this Zoom meeting, a lot of you folks take care of others, but just take care of it. One day, just sit by yourself and write about your past. But yeah, so I really wanted to mahalo all of you guys for joining in. I know it's finals week and you guys have better things to do than jump in with me, but mahalo nui, and I'll see you folks in 2 weeks on a Wednesday. Okay, mahalo.
Mahalo.
Asam na ba?
Mahalo.
Good job, boss.
Mahalo.